Hello there, I'm Helen Sadler, your Destiny Helper, here once again with a question that you've asked, and it is my pleasure to answer the question for you. And the question of the day is, why can't I get the narcissist out of my head? I've went no contact or he's discarded, but I keep him in my head. So you have been discarded by the narcissist and you're wondering why you cannot get the narcissist out of your head. Well, first of all, the narcissist, when he was with you, made sure that you will remember them, because the narcissists see you as an extension of themselves, and they know that they're going to hoover you. And whenever they hoover you, they want to make sure they can come back for fuel, because the narcissists never see you away from them. They always see you with them. They see you as a part of their life. They see you forever as part of their harem. And so and when they was with you, that's why the love bombing that a narcissist do, everything is built upon the love bombing. If they fail in the love bombing, they fail in everything. And if you notice your relationship with the narcissist, everything is depending on that initial love tangle, that love traction, that love connection called love bombing, bonding. And it is a love bomb because it's going to explode everywhere. But the original love bonding is what would tie you into that narcissist. So in the love bombing, it's your training center. You become trained to attach yourself to that narcissist. Hello, Lighthouse. Hello, how are you? I love you too, Lighthouse. Thank you so much for joining us today. And she said, God bless you. Bless your heart. You such a sweetheart. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Lighthouse, I was dressing a question that was asked me, why can I get the narcissist out of my mind? Why do I think about them? Even after they've discarded me, why can I go on with my life? And so I was explaining during the time of the love bombing that how precise the narcissist is, especially the upper mid and the upper greater narcissist, because they are aware of who they are. They are very meticulous, very calculus in what they're doing. All of their efforts and what they do is intentional. It's intentional. Everything they do is intentional. The upper greater narcissist does not do anything without intent. Even the words he speaks or she speak is with intent. They're very cautious of words that they speak. Now, many of you have dealt with the greater narcissists, have found they are very, very, very malignant. The upper narcissist, and they know trauma outside of the other schools of narcissists. In a way that is so tremendous. The greater narcissist is more skilled, more malignant, more calculative in everything he do or she does, everything she say, every place she go. The narcissist is very, very, very intentional. So in the love bombing stage, what they do is the upper greater narcissist or the upper mid narcissist, every place they take you is with precision. They take you to embed that in your memory, to burn that in your memory, so that you will never ever forget. And you will always be reminded of the places. And they take in their fragrance that they use, so it will burn in your memory, that fragrance. They use a certain songs, the songs they use, different phrases they use, even when they love you. They may say certain words in loving you, because they want you to remember them. They edge in your mind because they know that we're deep creatures of feelings. And so, what the narcissist does is allow you to feel what he's transposing or what she's transposing to you. And so the narcissist is very calculative. They calculate the emotion, they anticipate. And because they are not impervious to feelings and emotions, they anticipate the result of what they're doing, how you going to respond, how you going to receive. And because they're creatures of habit, hello, Nadia, how are you? From Sydney, Australia. Welcome. Welcome all the way from Sydney, Australia. We are talking about the narcissist, why you can't get them out of your head, because they edge themselves on. They do things in habit. They pull you away so they can be the soundboard in your mind. They can be the microphone of your heart. They are putting words in you constantly. They're saying the same thing. They're doing the same thing, because the narcissist's whole regimen is to get you so addicted to them until you find it very, very, very hard to be without them. She said, I suffer paranoid thoughts that the narc are sitting next to me, abusing me, and I keep repeating their insult in my mind every minute. She said, I'm so exhausted what to do. And Evan says, my ex asked me for money 3 times. The fourth time I did not give. She tells not to talk to her for 3 days. See, they're very manipulative. Everything is about them. Everything is about them. It's not about you. And they do that willingly. That's why they love bomb you, and then the trauma bonding, because it's something about trauma with us. We always feel that we have to fight for acceptance. We always feel like if something go wrong, it has to be our fault. We are creatures of blame. We blame ourselves, and they know that. Just Queens. Oh, good morning, Just Queen. How are you? Just Queenie, I'm so glad that you are on board with me. And I want to spend this hour talking to you and talking to people who are asking, why can't I get this narcissist out of my head? Hello, Lynette. How are you? You can't get them out of your head. It's going to take time. You can't get them out of your head when you are constantly with them, because they are addicted, because the relationship is an addictive love bomb, love trauma relationship. And they make you feel responsible for them. This is why they use gaslighting. Hello, D. Bowman. How are you? She said, hi, everyone. She said, just happened to look up in my notification, Apostle Helen, Apostle Sadler. Hello, Queen. God bless you. Hello to you, too. You know, we were talking about the love bombing. It's amazing how you think about them. If you don't register in your mind, if you don't do something with your mind will constantly think of them. It's a residual. Your mind will constantly go with them, go with them, go with them, go with them all day. And they're doing that because in the end, the narcissists need the pain that they built with you through love bombing. They need the pain that being addicted to them would cause. They get more fuel than the pain, than anything, especially the greater narcissist. The greater narcissist is so devastating because they are ruthless in the pain that they cause. The lower narcissist, he is really, he's physical, he's verbally abusive, he's mentally abusive, but he gets off with seeing blood, physical violence. And that's why when you don't argue with him, because you're going to set him off, you really don't have to do anything but be there. And once he beats you and see you in your own blood, he start to relax. He start to get better. It's totally different. She said you will suffer temporary psychosis. The mind is very She said the mind is very fragile. Exactly. And Evan say when I broke up with her, she cried like a baby and come back to have revenge and blame me for everything. I I almost committed suicide. And when I tell her, she just say as you want. Let me tell you something. Evans, don't you ever go that far again. No person is worth that. Not even your narc. You can be so addicted to them that even your eyebrows scream for them. You are worth more than suicide. Suicide is the ultimate fuel. If you had a did that, you would have fueled them for days. I mean, they're on cloud nine. They actually got someone to kill themselves. They are so grandiose until so special and spectacular until someone would take their life. That's the ultimate fuel. They will push you, and that fuel exactly. That's fuel like no other fuel. That's why they want to be the God of your life. They want to be in your life and they want you to put them above your life. Because when your life is invaluable, when you're valueless, when you have no value to your life, it's easier for you to take it. And the narcissists, believe it or not, they want to drive you to that. Even the Lord narcissists who don't know who they are yet, and maybe the lower mid narcissists, is very unfamiliar that they are narcissists, but they know that when certain things happen, it makes them feel better. I've been around and have many patients that are narcissists that actually come and talk to me. And without fuel, they seem depressed, they're sad. But when you fuel them, I mean, they are happy, elated, and excited because they need attention and they need attention all the time. Thank you, Debo. Thank you so much. They need attention all the time. And so the fuel you give them, it takes so the reason they got to go back and give more fuel because it takes fuel because most of them triangulate. They are not faithful. So they're giving out fuel and they have to go somewhere and get the fuel that they gave out. Because one person they building, the other person they're putting down, another person like you almost committed suicide. They won't stop. She's not going to stop. She got you to the edge. She wants the suicide. She wants that fuel. You're going to have to watch her. If you can get away once you know, go and don't come back. Those are the words of the famous H.G. Tudor. Do not go back. Stay away. Once you know, go. Yeah, they don't care. They absolutely don't care. They don't care about your emotion. That part of them is not living. Every happiness, gladness, excitement, all of that came from you. All of that came from their supply. They don't have those emotions. Trauma from the younger years of their life has cut that off from them. So they can't love you. When a narcissist say, I love you, that's a manipulative ploy. I just did a teaching on that. What happens when the narcissist say, I love you? You better run. You better run because being around them, they are addictive. We had a young lady to talk to us. Her husband died 6 months after her husband died. She met a narcissist and she talked to the narcissist in the parking lot for 6 hours. 3 weeks later, she married him. She has a book out, and it's an awesome book. I'm going to get the name of that book again, and I'll bring it to you about her experience. She said it really hurts when you try to do something totally different, such as cooking, meeting new guests, trying to study, and that bad paranoid thought is playing. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, Lighthouse, that's why they do it because the narcissists know at some point they may come into a few mishap. And when they come into a few mishap, they want to make sure that everything they dealt with still want them. Everything they dealt with still desire them. And they want that hurt to be so bad that when they come back after they come back after you've been discarded, you will be so happy, so glad just to have them in your life until you open yourself up again. And this is how many people find themselves year after year after year after year with the narcissist. I mean, it's been 2 years, it's been 5 years. How do you get 30 years with a narcissist? Keep coming back. Even if they're married to you, they give you the silent treatment. They devaluate you. They ghost you. Even being married. She said, hi. Hello, Damien. How are you? Thank you. You are from Romania. Well, hello there. Thank you for being with me on today, Damien. And so, what the narcissist does, when you look at the love bombing, everything you think about, it's not all of the pain you receive, it's from the love bombing. It's that they love bombed you. Oh my God, it was mind blowing. You never felt that way before. Everything in your body committed to them, everything in your body subjected to them, everything in you wanted to please them, everything in you loved their voice, loved their time, loved their smell. You couldn't wait to be with them again. You couldn't wait to love them, to make love to them, to hold them. You couldn't wait. And they couldn't wait either, because they knew that the day of devaluation was coming. It started when you began. That the only time you're perfect with the narcissist is love bombing. And this is, hello, Mark. How are you? Thank you so much for being with me. I am so glad to have you all on board. The narcissist, that's why their love bombing is so meticulous. That's the time they will take all the time you need. That's the one time you can get them on the first ring. That's the one time they want to spend all of that time with you. Uh, this is Damien. So glad that I can be here with you. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you can be here too live. Instead of just doing a video, I decided to go live. I missed you all. And thank you so much that I can now go on a better, how can I say, lighting, doing these different programs. And that's all because of you. Thank you so much for those of you who subscribe to my YouTube channel and liked and shared the page. Thank you so much for that. I really value you more than you know, and I'm so appreciative of you. And those of you that are with me here today, thank you so much for being with me. But the narcissist, this is the time you are perfect. Every one of us, for a short time, was perfect with the narcissist. It's the time they would have defend you against anything. You were perfect. It didn't matter what you look like. It didn't matter how you dress. It didn't matter how old you were. There was one time you was perfect to the narcissist. She said, I really need this because I'm really going through. I miss the narc wife. I know you're missing her. I know you're missing her. And she knows you're missing her. But you got to be strong. You have to be strong. It's necessary that you be strong. She said, I've gone no contact 3 years ago, and I am still suffering from such symptoms. 3 years are not enough. And my main question, till when will I suffer? Until you get strong enough to overcome. And there are different times. There's different phases. Many of us go through different things. Some of us get over them quicker than others. Some of them take years. It takes years based on your loyalty, what you gave to them. Some of you gave them everything. You gave them your life. You left family. Some of you left jobs. I mean, you gave the narcissist everything they want, and they didn't value you, and you kept being hoovered, and you kept yielding to the hoover, so you got years under your belt. That may take some time. If it take, some people were with a narcissist for 6 months, 3 months, and 2 years later they were still fighting after 3 months, 6 months. I think that it takes a very strong mind. It takes a very strong mind. It takes time, and it takes you being very insightful of you, professing who you are every day, feeding your mind every day. I had to feed my mind every day, every day, all day. I had to feed life to my mind. I had to feed strength to my mind. I had to be a big girl, and I didn't depend on anyone else. I depend on me because I wanted to live. I wanted to survive. The experience I had was so devastating. I refused to be conquered by someone who didn't care. I'm worth more than that. And I refuse to allow someone who really didn't truly love me, who really didn't truly care, to conquer me. And that took work, but I won. And I'm telling you, you can win. You can win to the point that when you see them is nothing. As a matter of fact, when you overthrow this, you're going to see them and wonder how they captured you. How did you get caught in the first place? She said, thank you for being with us. Just Queenie, it is a pleasure. She said, well, you deserve this. You make a difference in some of us here, Miss Sally. Thank you so much, Damien. You such a sweetheart. You such a sweetheart. Damien, do you know what an empath is? Do you know what an empath is? Have you ever heard of an empath? She said, I'm sorry. Most can't sleep well tonight. I'm working. I appreciate being in the company of my beautiful YouTube friends. Absolutely. We are your family going in strong. Oh, yes. Um, he said, it seemed like I'm never going to get over her. Every time I think I'm getting over her, it's always come back. I keep asking God, why does the enemy win like that? He haven't won. The enemy haven't won. Mark, he haven't won. Guilty of this, of course. Oh, okay. You sound like an empath. You sound like one who is very empathetic with people's feelings and people's emotions. And empath is just like a magnet that draws narcissists, but narcissists are highly drawn to empath. They favor them. An empath or a person that's codependent above regular people, they favor them because an empath would feel and take on that emotion, and a codependent would lose themselves in the narcissist and with their emotion. So both of those they love. And Mark, the reason it's hard, you talk to her every 3 days. If you was addicted to wine, and every 3 days you drunk wine, you will never get over your addiction. That addiction will remain. You have to go no contact. And we got Lighthouse saying it's be 3 years and she's still fighting. She said, well, God allows evil to be existed. Why does God allow evil to exist? The reason the devil had to exist, he was the anointed angel, cherubim that covered. He is a spirit. Satan is a spirit. You can't kill them. You have to judge them. And Satan was so anointed, it took time for all of that anointing to come out. The longer he exists and the more we prevail, we're cutting him down. That's why it seemed like a narcissist is getting away, and I'm going to do a teaching on that. It seemed like the narcissist is getting away, but what the narcissist is doing is every day meeting his fate. All of these specimens, all of these supplies he haven't. If you've seen the life of a narcissist, you will see a street of people laid out, wounded, hurting because of the damage. And I'm not talking about narcissists that are single. Some of these narcissists are married and they have that many supply. She said, well, this time I haven't talked to her in 2 weeks, and now I'm feeling worse. Right, exactly. And now I study, Jezebel spirits and soul ties. Good, good. I'll talk about that. But Mark, the reason you are feeling it because you're used to every 3 days. She got you trained. I guaranteed you the reason she's not calling you, she has a primary supply, and they're supplying her with fuel, and they're giving her what she wants, and she's probably love bombing them. Love bombing takes 3 to 6 months. Come on now, because they got to lock you in. That has to lock in if they with you because they want you for life. So anytime when a narcissist discard you, it's not over. It's not over, especially those of you with the upper mid narcissists or the greater narcissists. They are so confident that when they come, you're going to accept them back. So they are meticulous in love bonding you and getting you into habits and training your mind with love bonding. Mark, you have been love bond until your mind is trained, your emotion is trained, your addiction is still high, so your hormonal level is still probably off the chart. But the more you stay away from her, the more no contact, those hormones start to go on down, the addiction start to leave, the cloudiness start to come, your memories start to come back, the fog start to dissipate. But it takes time. You were married to her for how long? 8 years? So it takes time with that. This is every day. This is every day. But if you allow your mind to think of them, it's going to be harder to let them go because you are engulfing in them. And even if with them not being there, the dependency on them can still be there. You have to make up in your mind to let go thoughts because if you keep thinking about them, those thoughts bring them to you. Because, like Damien said, it's that soul tie, that soul tie. Keep it there. Hello, Jasmine. How are you? She said, it's been a year of no contact, very quiet and peaceful without him. See, it depends on what you're doing. Will karma catch every knot in this life, or some of them will escape away from it? You know, like how the Bible said that God is not mocked. Be not deceived. God is not mocked. For whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. How can a narc be happy when they live on supply? They can't be happy. She said, yes, I know she has a new friend. She told me that. And she says she's the happiest she's ever been. We've been married for 3 years. She's happy because they're in the love bomb state, but she's going to discard him just like everybody else. She said, you are either with the Most High or the devil. And the narc choose to harden his heart, stiff neck, reprobate, Satan's property. Absolutely. Uh, Hello, is that water? Fair rain. How are you? She said, I started a new job this month. Yay. Good job. And suspect a co-worker was a narcissist. This lady lied about me, so I quit speaking to her, and they believe her and let me go. Oh my God. A narcissist will get you fired. They will. They will if they have control of that place. She said, I'm 1 month, no contact. Oh, Nadia, 1 month. She said, I want to get my uh, narc out of my head. I want to erase him and stop thinking about him. I have to face him in court August 26th as he denied he physically assaulted me. So he's the Lord narcissist. Okay. She said, hello, Mark. Stay strong. This is from Debo. Excuse me. And Damon said, yes, it's an addiction. Study addiction and you will understand, excuse me, the mental gymnastics that your brain works in your favor. Be careful, Mark, and take care of yourself. Absolutely. Does this mean that every kind of gesture from them to us was from gain? Yep. I struggle with this, so excuse me. Excuse me. This means that the whole thing that the narcissist did was a game. None of it was real. Absolutely none of it. None of the touch, none of the hugs, none of the I love you, none of the I will be with you forever. You would be with me. Excuse me. It was all a lie. All the narcissist did was lie. Everything she said, everything he said was a lie. And they are professional liars at your expense. Unfortunately, I wish I could tell you something different, especially with 1 month of no contact. 1 month of no contact. You're very new. So you're getting ready to go through some serious changes, but we are here for you. And I don't know, you may be with my daughter on her um, YouTube too, Dr. Carmen Bryant. She said, yes, it was all fake. Absolutely. And it's unfortunate. But see, you were caught in the love bombing stage that I'm talking about. Indeed, it would be a challenge. It would be a real challenge because you're young. You're 1 month in, and those of us who are experienced know some of the things you're going to go through. Mark, married 3 years, he's going through that. And, and Lighthouse, she has been clear for 1 year. You have to get rid of that addiction, so you have to get copious amount of encouraging material. Those of you who are Christian, you got to make the Bible your daily read. They got all kind of inspirational videos on YouTube to tell you how wonderful, how marvelous you are, about succeeding, about accomplishing. Get around positive people. Find you a good therapist because you're probably going to need a good therapist. If you know that you require that, please access a good therapist. They can help you through this every single day, Nadia. Thank you. They can help you through this, especially they must specialize in narcissism. If you get a therapist that's ignorant of narcissism, you're going to come out feeling like you're to blame for things or you should have been able to change things. They have to know about narcissism. Get you a therapist that is very equipped with narcissism. They know the process, they know the regimen, they know what the effects that it have on the brain. They know the narcissist is actually redirecting your brain, redirecting your mind, and training your emotions. That once they leave, you go no contact or they discard you, your mind has been trained. And the longer you stay in the training, the more automatic you are in your operation. This is why Mark, that was 3 years with her. 3 years. So you're going to have to clear. And what you didn't do, once you left, you didn't have the opportunity to stay no contact. You constantly talk to her because of the you said the things you had to do together, so you couldn't go no contact where you went without her. So she was there in your life. And she would throw little lies, she would throw little undercurrents to make sure you stay hooked. And when you had a soul tie, you didn't have an opportunity to unravel that soul tie. She said, does a narc hate absolutely everyone? This is Lighthouse. I mean, didn't he or she experience love only for one person in their life? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Do you think a narcissist love their own mom? Get you? Love is love. Love is love. If they can't love, they can't love nobody. All of it was a chessboard game with the upper and the mid upper. They played you like a chess. They was very calculative, they was very organized, they was very intentional. The lower narcissists and the lower mid narcissists are unaware of who they are. They just know what they need. And because they know what they need, it's very reactionary. They do things to get that response, to get that feel, or that supply. But they don't even know that they are narcissists and that they cannot live without their fuel. Debo said narcissist fuel is a disintegration of your soul. It's chipping away. Let me see. Okay, it jumped. 16 years with a narc, still hoovering 10 years later, so they don't give in. Oh my God, 16 years. What a testimony. She said, I mean, did not he or she experience love from only one person in their life? Not one person, not even one. She says, truly disgusting feeling I can relate to that. Absolutely. They hate us because we can love. They hate you because you can love, you can succeed, you can fulfill, you can feel, you can have joy, all the emotions they can have. The narcissist is not empathetic. They don't feel people's pain. That's why they can hurt you so severely. And you wonder how can they hurt you and go on. This is after you've been with them, after you cater to them. And there is something called the narcissistic stare. If you ever look in their eyes and you see that, you won't have any questions in your mind that they hate you. That stare is blank and empty and diabolical. You will know that they don't love you. Yeah, they don't love. Not even one person. Not even one person. And you got to remember, they cut this off early. This just didn't happen. This happened somewhere in childhood, in their younger years. And they grew up not loving. They grew up not caring. They are trained, and that gate that has lost all of that has been cemented. And some of them have just sold themselves out to the devil and concluded that they would never love. So they look for love in other person, and they mirror what they should be in another person. They are empty, they are angry, they are void, they are sad, they are depressed, they are fearful. All of this goes on inside of them. When I look at the picture of the narc, my stomach starts to churn. Oh my gosh, you said I've seen that icy stare. And are they demon possessed? Well, you know what? They are not godly possessed. How is a narcissist able to do this? How are they able to hurt without feeling? It couldn't be God. They can't love. God is love. So the opposite of love is hate, and the opposite of God is the devil. So you go figure if they can. She said, can they not love their own kids? They can't love their own kids, Latoya. They don't love their kids. Their kids are a source of supply. Their kids are an extension of them. They, she said, they feed on the person's weakness. Cynthia, absolutely. Absolutely. A narcissist don't even love their kids. They don't love them. The kids are supply. They're a sense of pride. They're a sense of accomplishment. They are their trophies. That's why the kids of the narcissist feel so empty. She said, I am a new subscriber from Dr. Carmen. Thank you so much, Sapphire. Thank you for subscribing and welcome to my channel. She said the narcissists are mentioned in the Bible, kinfolks to Satan. Oh, Lord. She said they are energy emotional vampires. Yes, ma'am. That is a good name for them. Oh, yes, they are. They feed on your emotion. He said they even discard their own kids. They do. Their kids, their wife, anybody in their life. I remember the stare when we got married, filled with emptiness. Oh my God, what a time to give the stare. He discarded me 3 months ago after 4 years of marriage. He would hoover me this he will hoover me this time. He has not hoovered me because he's there with the supply, and the supply is supplying him. And believe it or not, they usually come around. Did you face a case of a narc who was healed or trying to heal? I will answer that. My wife is a convert, is a convert. Oh, okay, narc. Yeah. Okay, she tries to hide. And everyone thinks she is the sweetest person. However, I get all of the hate from her. My wife is never mean to her kids. I also thank you so much for subscribing to me. I really appreciate that, to my YouTube channel. You know, when you got a covert narcissist in the public eye, they are always number one. They always have it all together. That's why they're covert. In their kids, narcissists do two things. They either degrade their kids, devalue them, or they make their kids, they call them the golden kids. No, nothing they ever do wrong. Nothing. they ever do wrong. And that's because the narc live through their kids. They live the pride, they live the accomplishment, and the kids obey them. They can't, she said, they can't hear. They don't think they have a problem. Absolutely. It's always your problem. Now, where probably the medical arena and I differ, I happen to believe that a narcissist, the Bible said, because of the anointing, the yoke shall be destroyed. Every yoke, all bondage can be destroyed. Now we have the Apostle Paul, who was totally self centered. He was a murderer. He believed that he was right. He had all the signs. This is Saul, before he became Paul, had all the signs of a narcissist. It took Jesus to have, he had a born again experience, but he had a tremendous experience, and he got converted to the Apostle Paul. But he was able to see himself and look inside of himself. Then we have Judas. Judas was a total narcissist who was around the anointing, who walked with the anointing, who served the anointing, who heard the anointing. Judas ended up hanging himself because he refused to repent. Most narcissists got a difficult thing of looking at themselves. They gaslight, they blame everybody else for their problem. It's everybody else's problem. Until you are able to look at yourself and to see yourself, you can't repent, because you got to see where you need change. Most narcissists will not see where they need change. The medical arena said it's impossible for a narcissist to change because the narcissist is their nature. So they can't change their nature. So they stay the same. She said, yes, that lady got me fired and was sweet to everyone else, but mean to me, as I was the new hire, possibly jealous, I guess. Or she realized she couldn't control you because they're very good life readers. Yes, my wife, children, and grandchildren are never wrong. You're right about that. Yeah. She said it's a blessing when the narcs gets a new supply, as they don't hoover, and we are left in peace to heal from the trauma they inflict on us. Absolutely. So you know that new supply is getting ready to go through the hell that we went through. When and I'm gonna do another teaching on the supply, the new supply. That's when you're perfect. That was once upon a time. Everybody on this program was perfect in the eyes of the narcissist until your humanity came out. She said, I'm just like her. I said, I am a child of God, and she did damage since childhood. And this is from Coco. She said, I'm just like her. And I said, no, I'm a child of God. And she did damage since childhood. Absolutely. When the parent of a narcissist, that's why most people can't believe that a narcissist can birth an empath. Family, they're narcissists, but what they birth is someone who feel everything. They feel nothing, and the child they have feels everything. Everything they wish they could feel. That child gets tortured. What is the golden child to a not? It's the child is a child that can't do any wrong. Apostle Sadler, no disrespect. How did you become so highly educated on narcissism? You are so on as a result of all the damage they could do. And I made it through. I made it through. I went no contact. I didn't wait for a discard. I went no contact. Well, I won't say I didn't wait for a discard. I was discarded and brought back. Discarded and brought back. And so when I made up in my mind, I was done. I was done. I refused to allow my life to go in circles. And I took control of my life back. And when I took control of my life back, I was not a good specimen, but I went no contact. And when I went no contact, it was very difficult not to answer the hoovers, not to answer the call, not to answer the text. It was very, 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 very difficult. But I wanted life, and I chose it. I chose it against the odds. I chose to fight. And what made me strong is the Lord Jesus Christ. I was strong in the Lord. and in the power of his might. So I understand the hurt. I understand the warfare. I understand the battle. I understand the mental trauma, the emotional trauma. I understand the delay, the fog, the confusion. I understand what it is to be blamed, and you knew what you saw, you knew what you heard, but they twisted the word so until you doubted yourself. I knew all of that. And the reason I am very strong, the reason I'm very happy, and the reason I'm very satisfied is I decide I was worth loving, and I love me. That's how. Uh, Sophia said, where can I go to express my story to the world? My story is unusual, and it is everything to do with the origin of where the narcissist is coming from, along with what is happening to us right now. Well, Sapphire, when you have a story, you're going to tell it. Let me answer her question. I'll continue. She said, yes, had to find out what that was. You know, there was a name for this mess. We all thank you so much. She said, I remembered at the hospital when I was losing the pregnancy. He set distance and hated being there with me. Yet the nurse came in to check on me, and he suddenly became very caring towards me because they're fake. They're fake. And this is Jelani. I grew up in a narcissist house. Oh my God. With a dad loved to control and loved to torture us. She said locking doors, taking out his firearm and tried to kill us numerous times. I got panic attack for years. Yeah, that would. And rightly so. And rightly so. Your own father trying to kill you. Thank God, Jelani, you made it. She said, my father's like a cult. They feel nothing. I'm the fifth child and feel everything. She said, I don't regret my journey, and I thank God I can have peace, and they don't. It's sad. The narcissists don't, Coco. And Jelani said, I cured myself with no medical assistance. It took many years, but I'm strong now. And you know what? I applaud you very, very, very much because it really, really takes a made up mind to do that. And I thank God for bringing you through. What a story. A golden child to a narcissist is usually there's more than one child. And the golden child is the child who get all the favors. They don't do anything wrong. And the parent choose that child. But that is the most miserable child in the world because that's the child that pleases the parent. That's the child that the narcissist can get everything out of. That's the child that yield to every whim that that parent wants. Then there's the child that is devaluated. They can't do nothing right. They are hated by the golden child and the parent. And you were asking, how can you get your story out? When you get free, you're going to get your story out. 9 times out of 10, you're going to meet people who need your story, and you're going to start talking because you're going to feel what they feel. You're going to love them. You're going to care about them, and you're going to want their freedom. And so you're going to tell your story. You can go to Periscope. You can go to Facebook. You can go to YouTube, and you can talk. You can tell everybody that will listen, and they will listen to your story. But before you do, make sure you have yourself together. Make sure you have yourself together. And when you have yourself together, I think that before you tell your story, you don't have to be totally healed, but you have to be in the process of healing where you're strong enough to tell your story. And we don't sense you being broken down while you're telling your story because there's vibrations and vibes and frequency. And when we are healing and you going through the process, you remind us and take us all the way through the process again. So you need to be strong. You need to be healed. Healed people brings in healing. Hurting people hurt. So you got to make sure that you are where you need to be, and then tell your story, and you tell it boldly, you tell it truthfully, and you bring other people out because somebody wants to hear. She said that I cured my, oh yeah. And here she said, sometimes I blame my parents why I did not. They educated me about the narcissist indirectly. They caused me to fall into the trap of many narcs outside the home. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because you were wounded. And that wound was a big beacon for them. She said, nobody ever talks about the craziness. We talk about it all the time. All this is crazy. When I told my story, some people thought I was crazy. They never heard of a narc. And you know what? And this is why I tell people when I counsel people, I've counseled hundreds of people. I've counseled them and they got over. I've missed some people that should have came to me, but they didn't. They listened to other people and they killed themselves. There was people who died in front of their children that it was gruesome, it was cruel. Narcissism is crazy. Anytime you get a person that is filled with themselves, don't care about anybody, it's a high risk factor. Especially the lower narcissists, the lower mid narcissists, they are violent, they have outbursts. The upper narcissists and the greater narcissists, they're very calculated, they calculative. Don't mean they won't kill or have you killed. That doesn't mean, because what matters to them is fuel and getting their way. If they can't get their way, their mind is on nothing else. Their mind think about nobody else because they feel like they have to always win. And a narcissist never wants you to win in life. Never, ever, ever, ever. That's why when you refute something, they say you cause a narcissistic injury and they're angry. And your world become wild in your own house. She said the golden child is now 600 pounds and act just like my mom. They can't take rejection. He's narcissistic as well as must have all control. And ooh, wow, and he has to be the star or recognized all the time. Now you know what, Coco, 600 pounds, how happy can you be? You got a problem breathing, you got a problem going to the bathroom on a regular basis, you're hungry all the time because you overeat, and whatever you overdo becomes your craving. She said, I love the way you validate us because the first 2 years of marriage, I genuinely thought there was something wrong with me. I'm so glad, Jasmine, that you realize how beautiful, how awesome you were. That's why the narcissist broke you down. If a narcissist broke you down, there's something you got that they want. She said, okay, I would need to prepare myself. There are things in my life that need to be cleared away, but I'm strong in every moment. I know that with this situation, which is somewhat connected. Oh, Sapphire, you're going to be a healing agent for many people. You've been through too much. That's why we're here. You're going to be a healing agent and you'll be a sounding alarm for many hearts, for many minds, for many desires. Most people, believe it or not, I got people, once they have a narcissist, they don't want anybody else. They can't have a regular relationship. They say it's too boring. That nobody can love them like the narcissist. That's why the narcissists know what they're doing when they love bomb you. They're going to make sure that there's no competition. Excuse me. They always feel like they own you. They don't feel like you connected with them. They feel like they own you. They feel like you belong to them. You are their property, not their relationship. You are their property. And that's what they treat you like, property. This is Coco. What are you saying, Coco? Mm-hmm. Coco said, I had to start teaching my daughter about the narcissist family. My daughter thought she was going crazy and felt suicidal. And I started to explain it to her. And you may have to keep her away. When you have narcissistic parents, they become narcissistic grandparents. And the children are too young to protect themselves. So you have to protect them. You may have to not go over there and take your child over there because they don't care about crushing them. A narcissist is a narcissist is a narcissist all the time with whoever, whatever. They just may be, like he said, covert. They may hide themselves, but they still a narcissist. And the first chance they get, they gonna activate to their best interest. She said, I got child support from my narcissist, and suppose never thought of it as being support to the kids. He thought it was all about me taking his money. Absolutely. That means he wasn't thinking about the kids. She's a great mom. God bless your daughter. Oh, God bless you. Thank you. The kids feel it. Yeah, they know it. They got a sixth sense. After my mom left my narc dad, she said my mom was so damaged herself, abusing us mentally, threatening to kill herself all the time. I eventually got so numb. Oh my God, Jelandi, that's a book. Have you written a book? Are you planning to write a book? Kids feel something off with the narc. Exactly, they just can't explain it. Yeah, they just can't explain it. Jelani, you may need to write. You may need to write. You may need to write a book. You may need to write a book and let somebody else hear your story. As a matter of fact, Sapphire, that may be something for you to think about. You want to tell your story, tell it in book form. Get you a book and start writing your story. Nobody can tell your story like you. And believe me, you got a whole world. Narcissism is on the rise, especially because of our uh, current administration. She said, now I'm being controlled by, not, she said, now I hate being controlled by anyone. As soon as someone tried to control me, I get rebellious because you still healing, you still understanding, you still knowing. But make sure you discern, because sometimes when we've been abused, people can give us criticism and we don't differentiate that criticism from control. Because sometimes people who've been controlled, they can't even go under leadership. You'll fight leadership because all you remember is being pulled under control rather than to be wisely led. And sometimes when you got a strong leader, you're wisely led. Some things will be opposed that you're thinking for your better good, for your greater good. You just got to know the difference. Just know the difference, Jelani. She said, we felt that way, but we choose our emotions instead of our mind and intuition. Absolutely, that's how we got caught. I will write the book, and this is something I must do. See, you are compelled. You are compelled because of what you've been through. I would definitely write that book. I would definitely reach the heart of people because sometimes when you're writing, it'll make you confront some things about you. You have to confront issues. You have to confront where you are because you know I can't deliberate like this because my whole goal is for someone to heal. And in this area, and so you're writing and you have to put the book down and go for your healing. And then once you get your healing, come back to the book. And then the healing go into the book. Because you don't want just the pain in the book because that's what people going to get out of it. And when people have dealt with narcissism, you don't want just pain to be in their life. You want health and wholeness to be in their life. Because that's what prevents the narcissist from being able to hoover you and to bring you back. You have to open your eyes and change your perspective on things, and so you will understand that there's nothing wrong with you. Absolutely, Damien. Absolutely. He said, for men, for the men narc, if you are good supply, do they purposely get you pregnant for life for that supply? Exactly. They don't care. They don't care. The only thing is they deny it afterwards. I would love to write a book, but am not a writer. Would need help. You know what? You are more amazing than you think. Write your thoughts down. Just write them down. Get paper, write your thoughts down. Get a tape recorder, tape them, and then write them down. You will be amazed at how wonderful you will write. And then you can get an editor. Once you write, you get an editor to edit your writing. By the time they finish, you have a glorious message to the world, and people will read and heal. Some people will heal so they'll do like Jelani. They may not need a therapist. Your book will be so detailed. Your book will be so encompassing and educational until they will rise up above the dust and the dirt and the hurt and begin to live again. Sometime when we reach people, they start to breathe. Pregnancy is a trap for them. Yes, Jasmine, it is. She said, as kids, we want to love our parents regardless. And kids are like that. And believe it or not, if you notice, if you was raised by your parent, by your mom, who did you want? It wasn't your mom. You wanted your father. So trauma will bond us to a lot of things that we need to get away from. Because when trauma comes, we start trying to prove, make sure it's not our fault. That's why the narc use trauma bonding. How do they keep, why do they stay on my mind? Look at all the things they do. How can you forget them? You have to choose to. You have to be very intentional. My narc's mom wouldn't feed me. My sister had to slip me. My narcissist mom wouldn't feed me. My sister had to slip me food. And for years, I ate raw meat to survive since 7 years old. Oh, Coco. This was my first encounter with the spiritual narcissist. Oh my God, Sonia. They probably just almost ripped your feeling out. Thank you. You are amazing. And so are you, Jelani. So are you. Uh, you can't trap a narc. They just don't want you to take their money. They they don't care about the children. Absolutely. Absolutely. They said, can two narcs marry? I know two of them. I know people that have married, their relationship doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's turbulence all the time. And it usually short lived because there's too much fury, there's too much physical violence, emotional, they can't make it. Because a narcissist is a narcissist, even to another narc. They're going to compete for control because a narcissist cannot be without control. So a narcissist, usually the lower and the lower mid narcissists, don't know who they are. So they're easily led away through deception. But the upper mid narcissists and the greater narcissists know exactly who they are. They won't marry a narc. So when the narcissist marry another narc, it's usually the lower mid and the lower narcissist. They will marry and fight, 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 fight. They can't even work together, so you know they can't live together. She said, what's the difference between codependency and an empath to a narcissistic relationship? An empath experience the emotion. They feel what you feel. A codependent release themselves into you and they merge with you till they lose themselves. An empath just feel it. And because they keep trying to fix you and they end up being a slave to the narc because they keep trying to fix the narc because they're feeling them emotionally. I dropped it out of my mouth. Because they're feeling them emotionally and because they're experiencing them emotionally, they go in for the task. They go in to become the engineer of their emotions. And what the narc does is pull them right on in. All of their emotion is hate, trauma, lies, deception. So the empath get pulled in and they'll break down a young empath. The only empath that has the ability to fight back is the super empath, because you pull them, but the super empath would have went through so much, almost to the point of destruction, and then they go supernova. And they go supernova where they act like the narcs. They start mirroring the narc, and that's when the narc got trouble. The upper narc can handle them, because and the upper narcissist can usually handle a super empath, and what they would do is back off and let them regroup, and when they regroup they pull them back in for another round. uh and do to regard spiritual narcissism. She said, I know of an empath that has become like a narc. That's a super empath. That's a super empath. Righteous, right agenda. This is what I have seen. Yes, and what happened is you got to remember, every empath on the opposite side act like a narc, but the super empath can actually mirror the narc. And what happened is, like, when you have a spiritual gift, let's say you have the gift of governments, when you are out of order, you got chaos. When you are in order, you have organization. So a prophet, when they're in the spirit of God, they can prophesy, see things, align things, calibrate things, synchronize things. A prophet out of line, that's your psychic, baby. They can read your cards all day long because they off course. And that's what happened with an empath. They take on the emotion because they help. They're your underdogs. They come in to assist you. These are destiny helpers. And when they are off, they are your worst nightmare. They're not helping anybody. That's why they look like a narc, but they're not. She said, Sonia says, they didn't. That thing called flies. Okay, say that again, so Damien. Okay, I missed something here. But the narcissist, the reason they put you in training is because they need you habitual. When you are habitual, you're easily to manage. It's when you're chaos, you cause too much energy because you cause them energy when you're chaos. So they put you on a regiment so they can put you in order. Because when you are easily managed, that's lower fuel that the narcissist has to expend to keep you in line. But when you go chaotic, the narcissist got to go get more supply, secondary supply, uh, uh, third level supply, fourth level supply, and then they get the dirty little secrets, and they take they got the supply on the shelf. They have to pull them off the shelf because you have taken so much energy, and I'm talking about the primary supply. You take so much energy, and now they got to get that energy back. So they like you organized, and the narcissist, if there's three people, it just say you and two more women. They put you on the same regimen. So when he met you, he was also triangulating these two women. So y'all go on the scale. Every time he goes to hoover one, he's gonna hoover all three of you, so he can keep you organized. And then he keep them organized. He hoover all three of them. Then he keep them organized. He hoover all three of them. And then when one go no contact, it makes him work harder because now he got to fill that void to keep that triangling, to keep that three, so he can hoover all three at the same time. Because two agreeing with him, but one with no contact. So she's falling out of order. He's falling out of order. And now he got to expend more fuel, either to try to hoover them back in, which take a lot of fuel, or to get new supply, which take a lot of fuel, because you got to win them over. And remember, the new supply, they're reflecting and mirroring, and so they got to put on their fake for them, and they're in desperation because they got to keep the order, especially when they got a tremendous supply flowing every other week. They with someone new. That take a lot of order. That take a lot of organization. And some of the narcissists are dealing with 4, 5, 6, 10 women at one time. Each of these women are energy pullers. And then he got to pull energy, but he's expending energy. And this is why the narcissist is triangling off the charts. Um, She said he is an ordained person and used scripture to hoover. So did the devil. Don't be surprised. She said, I know there must be a reason that they are broken. I can take a lot of abuse and I will always forgive until I go numb. You don't have to take abuse. That's a choice. I take no abuse. I am not for you to abuse. I don't care what you are. I am not for you to abuse. I will not take abuse. I would take respect. I would take dignity. I would take care. Now, if they need to abuse somebody, I'm not the one. I refuse to ever go through that again. I pick up the least bit, you out of here. Spell it how you want to, see it how you want to. You are out of here. I'm the here part, so you're out. So I never take abuse. Never ever. Make up in your mind when he smell like a narc, go. Even if you make a mistake, it's best to make a mistake him as a narc than to get him as a narc and miss the mark. Because you're gonna go through torture. And you got to remember, once you open, these people are addictive. There are narcissists that you're not even attracted to, but you keep talking to him. Next thing you know, you in. And you try to figure out, but he's ugly. I don't even like him. He look like a fish. Well, that fish is kissing you every day and causing you pain because you didn't know when to run, Forrest, run. Let me see. She said, we're going to deal with the ordained part. She said, I didn't know I was a supernova. At him. I just learned that here. Lots of love. No wonder he doesn't hoover. Oh, you cause so much pain. A supernova can be very pain. You cause narcissistic injury that's off the chart. She said, I then tend to fight back with everything in me, but feel so bad afterwards and forgive again. Oh, you sound like a super empath. You sound empathic, daughter. You sound empathic. Because most people will fight back and they don't feel bad. They feel justified. Because you did this to me and I fought back so I could survive. An empath do the right things but start feeling bad for doing the right thing. So you probably need to research an empath because you sound just like one. Um, moved and went no contact. She said, Sonia said, when he discarded me, I moved and went no contact. You are a very smart woman. She said, would you say that narcissists are fueling demonic activity as a sort for consort or demon? Some reason I felt levels of this spiritual and physical dimension attraction in faith. All of it is demonic. They operate with demons. They are helped by demons. The demons make sure that you are trapped. That's why you can feel them. You can feel when they're getting ready to hoover. You can feel when they're thinking about you. The demons gonna make sure through that soul tie. That was my downfall in the narc family and relationship. I kept trying to fix everyone. I got fed up and had a nervous breakdown. My tolerance was high. Not anymore. I don't take chances now. Very smart, Coco. Very smart. She said, yes, just Queenie said that is so true. Uh, she said empaths don't really become narcs. They just have traits of narcs behavior, like flies from so many years of straining under the same roof. Exactly, you're absolutely right. No contact is so important. Empath have narcissistic traits. That's why I was saying they're not narcissists, but they have narcissistic traits. The super empath know how to mirror what they've been through. The narcissists mirror the super empath. Use all their emotions to go to another supply, but the super empath know how to mirror the narcissist. When the narcissist is breaking them down before they have a nervous breakdown and be hospitalized, the supernova will go supernova and get that narc off. They cause narcissistic injury. That's why the lower narc and the mid narc can't handle, and usually upper mid narc struggle too, who handle them is the greater narcissist. But even the greater narcissist is very careful when the empath goes supernova, because they are going to wound to the max. So most people cannot deal with them. And the supernova would do the right thing and then go somewhere like Jelani and feel guilty. They feel sorry. They feel like I misbehaved. I wasn't trying to misbehave, because they're empathic. And then when they reprieve, the narcissists know that is a good fuel supply. That is maximum fuel supply. Other than suicide, you get a super empath, you get an empath, or you get someone who's codependent. Codependent gonna lose themselves. They're gonna probably end up suicidal or kill themselves or in the hospital. You get an empath. The empath end up in the hospital, and you just break them down. Super empath gonna end up going supernova. They not gonna let you break them down. They don't went through hell, and just before they have that nervous breakdown, because when a supernova goes, when a super empath goes supernova, they don't went through hell. They don't went through tornadoes and hurricanes and storms. So now they have no choice, and they are like a bee. That's the last choice, because they don't want to lose their stinger. Because look at Jelani, they feel bad right afterwards, and they had to do it to survive. She said, I always feel the narc is somewhere near, and I'm afraid. That's that spirit, baby. Rebuke that spirit of fear. They carry it. There is a woman that would not leave the narc and always support the narc because she's addicted. She's addicted. She said, yes, Latoya said, that explains me. Absolutely. She said, I feel the intentions and mirror it back, not with intent. It's like I feel the feelings and the hate of the narcissist. That's because you break down so much. By the time a super empath goes supernova, it's not because they're using power, because some people misunderstand. They think this super empath is this superwoman or superman that just goes supernova and then bag that narc off. That's not what happened. When a super empath displays supernova, two supernova stars, the stars are dying out and they collide, and like what's that's residue comes down to earth, and it begins to be minerals and nutrients for the earth, but they cause a black hole when you get supernova stars to make impact. And that's the way it is with a supernova impact. She causes a black hole. That's the narcissistic injury. But what she releases or he releases is going to serve to strengthen them, to rebuild them, because they will survive another moment. The only thing about that is the super impact has to heal, because like anybody else, they get hoovered back in to go through the same thing. If you get a super impact that break down too much and go to supernova too much, that's a lot of energy, and they can actually harm themselves and break down because they're having to go supernova too many times and they don't have energy. And that upper narcissist know that, then they come in for the jugular because they didn't have time to reprieve. They didn't have time to revive. Um, Let me see here. She said, he is watching you through social media. Let me find out why she said that. It's like I feel okay. She said the ex-narc followed me in this same store. I was there first. 2 minutes later, he walked in saying, "Cool, come and collect it," and ignored him. Oh yeah, you're being followed. Cause how would he know that? Just make sure he's not a lower narcissist. That's dangerous. She said those are the traits as well. Traits of what the narcs are inside. Yeah. She said I went off on my narc and later felt bad, but I had enough of the mess. I'll say mess and the unwanted abuse. Absolutely. Absolutely. And see, the thing is, were you married to him? Latonia, was you married to him? Because really, It's time to leave. You got to know when to go. And once you go, don't come back. Don't get Hoover back in. When you get a Hoover back in, we're going to deal with Hoovers again because sometimes we set ourselves up in the Hoover. That's very true. I did that toward the end, and I said I had to, and I was gone. He knew there is nothing more that he can do from me, and I wasn't going to be submissive to his abuse anymore. Oh yeah, few days are over. When the narc can't get fueled, they're not going to stay. They don't love you enough to stay because they don't love you. So they're gone. No fuel, no narc. Bottom line. I mean, you could look so beautiful until a magazine is afraid to put you in it. You're so beautiful. That don't mean nothing to the narc. He don't care how beautiful you are, what kind of shape you are. A narc will mess with someone with one teeth, and the teeth is so big in the front until they take up their whole mouth. He will go after that if there's fuel. And you're looking at him like, how in the world is fuel? They'll go after a pig if the pig got enough fuel. A narc don't think like we think. They think fuel. They didn't think in beauty. She said, no, I went for him for 4 years and we have a child together. Oh, okay. She's a resistant Hoover at all times. All right. She said, if you smell unhealthy to me, I am not dealing with you. Smart, smart, smart girl. Smart girl. It's amazing to me what we are able to tolerate. Yeah, they'll go heterosexual, bisexual, homosexual, lesbian. They'll go even to the point of bestiality. A narcissist is that diabolical. You have to protect yourself because most narcissists with sex feel like they're able to know when someone has been infected and you are at risk. You are at risk. Please protect yourself. She said, I had a supernatural God experience that healed me, and I want to write a book. Then Sonia, by all means, write. We are not special. Yeah, we are all very special. Believe it or not, narcissists are very choosy unless they can't get fuel. When they can't get fuel, they'll go for anything, and you can tell. When it was an emergency case of fuel ignition, it looks like emergency. Other than that, they chose the best fuel for their tank. A narcissist does. I want you to know that you're special. Special to the one that just got discarded. And you only been discarded for a month. Marie, what are you doing up, girl? She says, all about the supply. Absolutely. It's all about supply. It is never about you. And that's why you have to care about you. You have to love you. And until you do, we are here for you. We're here to hold up your arms. We're here to wipe your tears. We're here to counteract when you're headed toward the narcissist because of a Hoover. Hopefully, we can catch you in time and divert you and change your course of direction. The narcissists want to change your way you think. They need you to be regimented and trained toward them. We need you to know who you are and be true, regimented toward wholeness. Queenie said, we all are special. We are created unique. We all have our qualities, and they want something that is unique to you, that God has made us different and loving people. I could not have said that better. You get an A plus. I start setting boundaries with my narc when it came to the visit for the child and got mad when it when I did it. Of course, make sure you have a court order. Make sure you have a court order. If you're a lower narcissist, lower mid-grade narcissist, be careful with that one. One of the sure signs to know if you are a super empath is various situation with different types of narcissists who all speak similar dialogue to you, and your tears will do the same emotions, and you will know. You know when you're a supernova about all of your works and helping people, loving people, and feeling people, because the narcissist is definitely going to bring out the supernova because they're too diabolical. Do you have an email address? Yes, Jelani, write me at apostlehelen@gmail.com. I'm setting up another email and I'm trying to get that one to work right. apostlehelen@gmail.com, please. I pray all can resist the Hoover tonight and flee. So do I, Sonia. She said, Sapphire, you are right. She said, Jefferson, stay strong. Sonia, you can do that, I'm sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, guys, my time is up. I'm going to need to go. I got to get up in about 4 hours for church. I appreciate you so much, and I love you, and I want you to love yourself. And if you, before you go to bed, if you would just put your arms around you, that's me hugging you, saying that you can do this and that you are a winner at this. And the fact that you still here allow you to see how special you really are. I will be back, and I'm looking forward to us being together again. Thank you so much for being with me tonight. Thank you, Jelani. Thank you, Damien. Thank you, Coco. I really appreciate you. Thank you, Mark. Mark, we're praying for you. And you're going to be all right. Just keep fighting. Keep joining with us. We're going to hold your hands up. Thank you, Water for Rain. Thank you so much. Well, this is our time. I love you. And I will see you, Sonia. Blessings to you also. I will see you on Monday or Tuesday. Hugs and kisses, everyone. Marie, good night, and I'll see you on tomorrow. I love you. Remember, life is yours. It is your gift.